Had to do an emergency combi swap on Friday. Started off filming it for YouTube, everything was going fine. By the end of it, I absolutely hated it. Didn't want to show you, and yes, that is the filter on the flow. What's up guys, happy Sunday. Thanks for tuning into my latest video that very nearly didn't make it because the job I filmed for this week's video started off alright, but by the time I'd finished the job I absolutely hated it. Didn't want to be there anymore, didn't want to put my name to it. Just one of those jobs where something that went wrong that kind of ruined it for me. It's probably fine, but just put a lot of pressure on myself. So yeah, there's that. I've had a really good week this week. Did 2 boilers in 1 week, which is very rare for me. Normally a combi swap, 1 a week between all my other little jobs, but this week I had 2. Filmed both of them, but this one is the one that's in this week's video. Normally really enjoy a combi swap because I don't do that many, but for some reason I just didn't enjoy this one. It was an emergency for a landlord. Wasn't like a big budget combi swap where I could redo all the pipes and get everything, you know, nice and straight and stuff, but hopefully you'll enjoy it. And yeah, like I said last week, because I mentioned it, I got a lot more subscribers and likes on my videos, so if you don't mind, while you're here, bang a like on it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll keep making more videos. This was a call out to a Buderus with a 4P error code. Don't know about you, but I'm not a massive fan of this boiler. I've only ever worked on 2 of them, I think, in my area. Really hate the cover. It's held on by this sort of catch, which you operate with a radiator key to open and close it. But yeah, there's not much about these boilers I like. They're technicals run by Worcester Bosch. So if you have a problem with one, you can ring Worcester Bosch and they'll talk you through the fault finding. But yeah, we're going to, on a boiler like this, the first thing I'll do is I'll look online for the instructions. You can actually get a pretty decent servicing manual for this boiler, which I pulled up online just to find the fault code and see what was going on. It gives you a nice diagram there with all the parts that are labelled, all the component parts, and then what all the status codes mean. So we've got the error codes here all listed, and when we go to 4P, which is just there, the contacts of the flow sensor or safety sensor are broken, and it tells you to go to box 35. So there's hundreds of boxes. Box 35 tells you what to check. So you check the flow NTC sensor and safety sensor. See box 104. Are the flow NTC sensor and safety sensor functioning correctly? Well, it tells you to check the functioning by looking at box 54 or 55, but all that is put the power on. Well, the boiler doesn't work with the power on. So I had to ring Worcester Bosch just to get the guidance on what to do. So we're looking for resistance on the safety sensor, which is this top one. So using my multimeter, just checking with it in, the boiler's obviously been off because it's not working. And looking at the table, 14 k ohms is about 16 degrees, which is about right for what it is. And then there's also a flow sensor, which is the same thing, lower down in the boiler, just here. So unplugged that, did the same test, checking for resistance on the 2 contacts there. Again, reading about 14 k ohms, which is about 16 degrees, which is about right. So I spoke to Worcester. They said if the sensor and the flow sensor are okay, check the wiring harness. Everything looked okay, although there's a lot of wires tightly packed together. Nothing seemed damaged, nothing was melted together. Then I took the connectors off the PCB in case there was a dry contact. Did all that, and still it just went straight to the 4P code. So talking to the Worcester engineer, he didn't really want to, he said he'd not really worked on many of these, didn't really know too much else I could do to help me, so we decided it was probably going to be the board that was stuck in this specific fault. So the last thing I thought I would try is just giving it a gentle tap, but I tried everything, couldn't get this boiler to come out of the 4P error. So spoke to the landlord. This boiler's 16 years old, so we decided that rather than spend money on a circuit board, it would be better for him to just bite the bullet, rip it out and get a new boiler. So agreed with the landlord, we're just going to swap the boiler. It's 11:30 on a Friday. I've moved all my jobs. I had to do some this morning because there was a kitchen fitter waiting on me moving a gas meter and stuff, but yeah, I've cleared the rest of my day and then hopefully get it done today, and if not, just finish off tomorrow. It shouldn't be too difficult. I mean, the pipes come out of the box and I'm not going to do anything crazy. It's not going to look amazing. I'm just going to get it connected up, and then I've got to fit a filter in here somewhere and flush it tomorrow. I definitely won't have time to flush it today, but if we can get them hot water tonight, that'll be a bonus because they've not had hot water all week. And it's a flat full of student girls, so they're desperate to have a shower. So step one, water's off. So hot and cold, drain them down, open some taps upstairs, drain the heating circuit from that straight into the sink. Whip the fuse spur, with the fuse at the spur, and then start taking it to bits. This is not going to be too bad. So if we think about the Baxi pipe work, flow and return at the same place, cold, hot at the same place, and the gas, so they're probably all going to line up. Just depends how high the boiler is. Hopefully, being a bit smaller, it's going to be the bottom of the boiler about there, so it'll give me room to mess about because it's quite tight here with that street going into that. So yeah, hopefully not too bad. So I've put an extra hose on that connection there just to speed things up, so I'm both draining down. So I'm just taking the wiring out. That one came through, that's out. This one here goes into this box, which is to the room, from the room thermostat. See, it connects in there. Little circuit board there, so those two switching wires, so hopefully I'll be able to reuse those today. So yeah, I'm going to get that out, and then the boiler looks like it's just held on by the pipes that are still connected at the minute, so get that drained down, lift them off, take the flue out. The flue's been well sealed in, so I have to chip that away, but hopefully have it all drained down and off in about 20 minutes. I've shown you this a few times now, but because this boiler's going to the scrap man, we've got a fast bow fuse there that I can use on breakdowns and other jobs, so that'll be going into my little tub. So the flue out, I've just turned the bend this way so it's out of the way, and then it looks like we've got, you can't see that one, but just these hooks here, so it should lift up. That's why the boxing's been cut there, so the boiler will come up and then off the wall. It's always nice to see a cable like that hiding behind something. Don't know if it's, well, assume it's dead, but we'll have to check that now. And then an earth. What's that doing? It's not doing anything. So that's on a bit of timber. Take that off, get the flue out, then we'll get the template in, offer it up, and like I said, hopefully the new boiler will be about here, which will give me room to get onto those pipes. These mats are great because the messy bit, taking the old boiler off, chopping the flue out, I'm just going to take this mat outside, shake it all out, and then put it back down again. Right, boiler's on the wall, flue's done. It's not as high as I thought, it's almost the same. The old one sat on the tiles there, so it's about 1 inch taller. So, top of my head, probably cut that there, put the filter on, one going that way, one looking that way, so the filter would be there. Heat and return, cold, pretty much straight, maybe get rid of the filling loop because that will go as well. Gas is 15 mil out of this reduced elbow there, so I'm going to sweat that out, come across in 22, up into the gas. Hot water probably just needs extending along a bit, or I put bend on it. Condense is pretty much in line, and return flow just wants extending across a bit, so not too bad. It's just closer than I'd hoped, so it's going to be a bit fiddly. So I took the filling loop off there. There's a little bit of water left in that pipe, so that's drained down now, so there should be nothing in here. So I'm going to sweat that elbow off first, get out of the way, so then I'll be able to get to the gas. I'm just going to do it in stages, and we'll just drop back in as and when I've done bits. That's still red hot, but I've got it a little bit hotter just to get rid of some of that paint. Scored it so it will clean off easy when it's cooled down. Because I know I said I put the magnet on there, but just in case I'm going to solder on it. But it's always good to have a nice clean pipe, even if you're using compression, just to get rid of the paint. So we'll get the gas pipe out of the way next. You can see it's already looking a bit less complicated, just with one pipe gone. So we'll get a few out of the way and then it'll look a lot easier. Right, so sweated off the return, the gas, PRV and the cold. It's already looking a lot roomier. So once I've heated them up, took the fittings off, I just use this Teflon strip, or I just call them zip strips. That's my favoured pipe cleaner of choice. What I might do is, because the cold already steps out to go over the hot, I'm probably going to solder my gas in so I can put the gas meter back in, do a tightness test. I've already done the power and obviously the flow. So if I get the gas done, then I can do the hot and cold and put the heating valves on and shut them off. Then I can probably get the hot water on in under an hour, which would be good, and then I can mess about with the filter and that. At least I know they've got hot water, and then if I do need to go, because I've got a couple of gas certificates booked in for this afternoon that I couldn't change, so I can go and do them. So the gas pipe, where it came down to, wasn't high enough where I need to come across for the toe you get on the boiler. So I've cut it where I need it, but obviously we've got the paint on here. Now I've managed to pop it out of that clip so that I can bring it away from the wall a bit. So I'm going to use this drill bit cleaner. Obviously there's paint on there, but I just thought it'd be good to show you it. So it's going to be difficult to do one hand, but basically it goes in your drill and then give it another go without holding on to it with one hand and see. Yeah, it was a lot better if I just moved it sort of left and right a bit, because the trouble with them, although they are good, when they come brand new, the spikes must stick out a bit further, and then the more you use them, they go in a bit. So you have to sort of wiggle it from side to side, but it's not too bad. I do think they need to be slightly deeper though, because when we put a fitting on there, there's not going to be much clean pipe left. So gas is done. Meters back in, tightness test done. While I was doing the gas, I quickly did the PRV, because it's good to get that in before you put these two connections on, the return and the cold. So that's done, soldered up. So I can get the cold on now, connect the cold. I'm not going to bother with the heating because I do want to go and do these gas certificates. What I might do tonight is cut that. Might do that first before I do the cold. Cut that out of the way because I can come back tomorrow when I've got more time and do the flow. So we're going to get the cold done, hot done, condense done. Then we're pretty much ready to test it. All right, let's give this another go to show you. So this is the cold pipe. That's better. If you want to get these, a guy I met on Instagram, he's just an inventor. His name's Dan Stokes. He invented them, but I think he now sells them for a merchant, which is Lavender Heating Supplies or Lavender Plumbing. They're in London, but you can Google them. Heating flow pipe as well. Now I've cut it. So this is the 22 one. Maybe this one's a bit too old. It's got, yeah, it has heated up a little bit. So enough to just finish it off with that. I think maybe I've had this one too long and it needs replacing, but anyway, that's what they do. So hot's done. All I've done with that is I've just offset it a bit to get by the condense pipe that already comes out the wall there. The flow connection I've put on, but it's isolated there, so no water can come out of this pipe. That's going to be done tomorrow. That's got to come across to there. So I'm going to do the cold now with the integral filling loop, put that together. So I've cut that short there so it runs in front of the gas pipe here, and then it's going to come down and then just kick back to the wall, elbow across into that. All right, cold's done, shock arrestor's on, that's in front of the gas pipe. So just quickly show you, so this is the isolation valve for the heat and return. So if I isolate it, you can see there's a hole in 3 places, is it 2 places? So when we shut it off, that's blocked now to go down this pipe, but it's open coming this way and open coming up. Look like that, see it's open where it goes up. So that's going to allow us, with that shut, to isolate the heating circuit, but fill the boiler, to pressurise the boiler so that we can have hot water on. So I'm going to remove the link wire, but I'm not going to put anything in. So just overnight, the heating can't come on because there's nothing to tell the boiler to put heating demand on. So I'll sort that out tomorrow, but yeah, removing the link wire. If you left that in, the heating would just be on continuous. Okay, so the return's isolated, the flow's isolated, cold water is now live, so we've got cold and hot water on. Boiler's at 0 pressure, but because the flow and return's isolated, and like I explained to you about this valve, if I top the system pressure up now, very quickly goes up to 1 bar because we're only filling the contents of the boiler. But you can see I've got 2 open ends here, no water pissing out, and the boiler's at 1 bar pressure. So that's going to allow us now to have the hot water on. So pop power on. Now Baxis won't let you do anything until you've put them through de-aeration, so 2 quick turns of this. 1, 2. Now the boiler's going to just circulate within itself, get rid of any trapped air in the heat exchanger. Right, so that's finished its de-aeration. So we'll set the hot water to 50. Pressure's just in the green triangle, so fire it up. So when we turn the tap off, obviously the boiler shuts down. Now, if you remember, we took that link wire out. So although we've got the radiator icon on, it's not flashing, which means there's no demand. Even if we put the thermostat on the central heating side up to maximum, the boiler won't fire for central heating, just because we've took that link wire out, and obviously we've not put any switch live from an external control in. Right, so Saturday morning I'm back. I am having a lot of trouble with this filter, because if it goes on there, it's on the wonk, it's right in the way of, well, it's not in the way, but it just looks ridiculous there. I can't fit it any in this gap here, it's just too big. It's hitting the gas pipe, I've not got the angle, or even if I put an M&F elbow into that and soldered a bit of pipe, it's just in the way of everything, so I can't put it there. I can't put it on the horizontal bit of pipe between here and here, because the magnet cleans don't do that. You can't put them sideways. I'm debating at the minute whether to put it on the flow. Better to have one on the system somewhere than nowhere at all, but I just don't know. I think I am going to have to put it there, because I can put that valve on there and then the next one coming this way. It's just, yeah, it's tricky. We'll see. I'll have another think. Well, I'm probably going to lose subscribers for this, but I've put the return in now. I'm going to put the filter on the flow. I've tried everything. I've tried it here, different angles, 45s, bends, nothing will get it in without it being either on the tilt or there, which I think is just in the way. Maybe I could have just put it on there, but I'm going on the flow. Now, I swear, in the old instructions for a magnet clean, it used to say best practice, best place was on the return after the last rad before the boiler, but on a sealed system combi, as a second option, if you had to, you could put it on the flow. But even the instructions are against me now, because they've took that out and they've just put a tick there. They've not given you any other options. I'm going to Google the old instructions now and see if I can find it, because I'm sure it used to say second choice, you could put it there. We'll see, but yeah, that's what I've gone for. So let me know in the comments what you would have done. Let me know if you're unsubscribing, if you think I'm a shit plumber. I'd love to know. I knew I remembered this diagram right. So in the instructions for magnet cleans, they used to give you two options. So position A is best practice. That's after the last rad on the return directly before the boiler. But then position B is your secondary sort of choice. It's suitable, but it's not as good as A. But you can put it there if you can't get it in the ideal spot. So like on this job, just thought just in case it helps my argument any. So I'm filling the system now. The only downside to these filling links is you can't have your hand on it, putting pressure into the system, and be going around the house bleeding the radiators. So I've just jammed a pair of grips in there just to hold that open. Very slowly, because I'm going to be going up 2 floors. It'll give me time to get back down to the boiler. And then it's just a case of going around bleeding all the rads. If you want one of these radiator keys with your details on, you can have your company logo, anything you want on them. Check out a company called Stickers and That. So that's the system filled. Honestly, by the end of this job, I started to hate it. Just didn't want to be there. So last thing to do, isolate the MagnaClean, pop that filter off, and then give it a brief system flush with the MagnaCleanse while I'm commissioning the boiler. The landlord didn't need or wanted to pay for a power flush or anything. The system was quite clean. There was no issues with the radiators. It was literally just the boiler that needed replacing. But yeah, all done. Really was fed up by the end of this. Don't like how it's looked. Didn't like anything about it in the end. But it's only a combi swap at the end of the day, so I got paid, and I guess that's all that matters.
And now for something completely different.
Right guys, if you didn't know, I'm lucky enough to have a channel sponsor now, which is the Tradify work management app. And I've said this before, probably the worst person for organising myself, with taking calls, booking jobs in. I tend to write it down on a piece of paper or just say, yeah, I can do it, and then forget. And what I wanted to do with the sponsorship from Tradify is not just tell you, yeah, get it, it's great, actually show you things I like about it. So one of the things I want to show you this week was the job section. So obviously it's Sunday today, so where it says today's jobs, it says no jobs. And then active jobs, I've got 17 on there. New jobs, there's 9 on there. But on any given day, so on Monday, well, not Monday, it's bank holiday, but on Tuesday, the today's jobs will change to say 5, 6 jobs. And then when I click on it, it will give me a list of order of where I'm going, which I like to see, because then in my head I can plan out where I'm going that day. Am I going to Loughborough, Shepshed, Sileby, Colville, just so I know roughly where I'm going, and it gives me the list. And at the top there we've got today, new, active and all just lists all the jobs that I've uploaded on there. The different colours are what stage the job's at, so whether it's in progress, if it's been booked in, if it needs booking in, if it's high priority, if it needs invoicing, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm getting on great with it. I think you'll like it, but if you want to try it, there's a free 14-day trial. I'll put the code for that in the description of this video. And if you do want to sign up, then you'll get 50% off for 3 months if you use my code, which again, I'll put in the description. So concealed system, I came out to this weeks ago, quoted them for a new siphon because it's not working properly. And I'm just going to swap that as well. So I've got this kit from Viva, got a push button siphon, it's got the fill valve as well, all in one bag. Dual entry assistant component pack. So basically just going to upgrade everything in there, including that massive push button. So this front fascia with the button on it should just pull towards you, and then this one should slide up as long as they've not sealed it here. So what I've got to do is one hand. There we go. can hopefully find an isolation valve for the cold water. Yeah, go on there. So I've isolated the water, I've flushed it. This, like most of these, just twists out. Not seen one like that before or for a while. There's the flush pipe you can see sticking up. So this is going to come out. I don't know what this tub does. And then this. In fact, that tub is stopping the water from draining. That's fucking useful. Just get the wet back out. Milwaukee. Look how much PTFE they've put on that. Cannot undo it because there's so much on it. So in here we've got pretty much everything that we need. Now, if you've seen my toilet repair kit before where I've got all these fixings in a box, this is a good example of how I get my stuff for that, because I don't need these on this job. So they are now spares and they're going to go into my box and I'll be able to use them when I need them on another toilet. But yeah, that's how I get stuff like that. So that's all in. It's working. I've flushed it, no leaks. The problem I've got is the old push button was so big, the new one's just falling through the hole. I've just put every bit of plastic I had left just to get it working for tonight, but I'm going to have to sort something out with that. The hole in there is just massive. I don't know what I'm going to do yet.
Hi guys, tell you another story of how I fucked up. I've had a few fuck ups in my life, but this is quite a memorable one. So I was working on social housing, prefab house. They're post-war 50s, 60s. Basically they're made of paper and steel. And I was burning in, because I was first fixing the kitchen. I was burning in, soldering up some first fix pipe work for a new 6th position. Now everything would have been okay had I have not caught a piece of straw with my blowtorch, which was hanging out the soil stack, which was soundproofing the soil stack, because that's the great thing to soundproof stuff with straw, apparently. Yeah, that straw don't half go up quick, doesn't it? That half go up quick. So anyway, I have absolutely bricked it, and I've the responsible person. I've got a fire extinguisher. I've pressed the fire extinguisher, and if I tell you, my granddad with a prostate problem could piss better than that fire extinguisher, I'm not exaggerating. It just went ooh. So now we're in trouble. The tenant and his mate was having a couple of beers on a Wednesday afternoon, you know what I mean? They absolutely bricked themselves as well. I've opened up a stopcock, which is just open-ended. I've opened it up. We started filling buckets. There's water going all over the kitchen. I'm throwing it at the... It's gone up like a chimney effect because it's in a boxing. Anyway, the fella and his mate, they've gone upstairs with buckets of water. They've poured off the boxing in the bathroom, started chucking it down. I mean, I was ready to throw in the towel. If I'm honest, I was ready to throw in the towel. But they got it under control, luckily. But then you got to phone your boss, didn't you? You've got to phone your boss, and you got to have that conversation. Yeah. All right, Chris. Seem to have had a little bit of a fire down here. Fire? What do you mean fire, Pete? Is that a fire engine I can hear? Now the firemen, when they got there, they said 2 more minutes and that house would have been gone. That house and the next door. So if that ain't an advert for press, I don't know what is. And always make sure your fire extinguishers are serviced and charged. Thanks.